Milan win once again. I've told you guys many times so far this season, the feel-good factor. You can see it in the performances. You can see it in the celebrations, the unity. Everybody wants to play for Milan. Everybody wants to score for Milan. Everybody wants to put their body on the line. Milan have just won 3-0 against Lecce. And you know what? Rather than traditional fashion, where we sit down and discuss the goals, let's first discuss some key and important performances. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. It always helps the channel grow. Let's start off with De Vinter. His first start in a Rossoneri shirt. I think De Vinter had a great game. Like, don't get me wrong, Tomori, I was very impressed. And when I say impressed, I don't think Milan were troubled defensively. And these are the type of games where I start to look at Pavlovic, I start to look at De Vinter, I start to look at somebody like Tomori and say, okay, against the settled defense, you're not really troubled. What can you do in possession? Are you comfortable to step up? Are you comfortable to progress play? Are you aggressive? Do you like to push forwards? And I'll be honest with you guys, De Vinter, I think he was amazing. Like, you look at some of these numbers, you look at that heat map, 23 years old. No player on the pitch today made more passes, number one, attempted more passes, and no player on the pitch made more successful passes than De Vinter. He attempted 120 with a successful 118. He won himself 4 duels. He had a pass accuracy of 98%. Look at the heat map. He's practically a midfielder. And when I was watching the game, like, I kept trying to get rid of the idea that Milan are playing against 10 men, because let's be honest, sometimes in football, it's easier to score against 11 than it is to score against 10. When teams go down to 10 men, they just sit back and park the bus. And I was just looking at it and I was thinking, you know what, Milan are getting spot on. And there's another player I really want to highlight his impact on the team later on. Milan are winning midfield battles. I say this over every single team that I cover. Win the midfield battle and you've won 50, 60, 70% of the game already. Win your duels. Dominate the centre. When you've got somebody like De Vinter, look at the heat map. He's just stepping in. He's stepping into midfield. He's progressing play. 12 progressive passes. 12 passes into the final third. For his first start at the San Siro in a Milan shirt, albeit against relatively weaker opposition, I feel like it didn't faze him. And I feel like he had a very good performance. In addition to, listen, Pavlovic, we all know what my opinion on him is. I think he had a great game. Tomori, I think he had a very good game. But when I'm talking about midfield battles, there's another player that comes to mind. And I think ever since Milan signed him, he's been amazing. And that player is Adrien Rabiot. You're probably thinking Luka Modric. Luka Modric has been amazing. But Rabiot, for me, he's been equally on par. I think every single game that I've seen of him so far this season, he's been amazing. I think he started now 3 games back to back. Wow. Like, when I tell you, I'm now beginning to understand why Allegri loves him. Because these are levels of performance, especially the consistency, that I haven't seen of Rabiot throughout his career, whether it was at Juve, whether it was at Marseille. And fair enough, it's still early. But when I tell you guys, the reason why Milan look dominant, the reason why Milan are scoring goals, the reason, remember this, I want you to remember this. The reason why Milan are not troubled defensively, they win the midfield battle. They dominate the ball in the center of the field. Like, ball retention is a form of defense. That's one of my favorite football sayings ever. Ball retention is a form of defense. When you got somebody like Rabiot, when you got somebody like Modric alongside of him, it's game changes. When you look at Rabiot today, 30 years old, he won himself 8 duels in the center of the park, 87 passes attempted, a 94% pass accuracy, and 14 progressive passes into the final third. That's what you ask of a midfielder. Win your duels and progress play to the attacking players in the right space at the right time on a consistent basis. And that's what Rabiot's doing. Like, experience, like, just compare it to last season. Reinders, the technical ability, the goal scoring. But sometimes you looked at Reinders and said, in some games, in some moments, you were lacking that in-game experience. And I look at Milan this year and I say, you've brought in the young bucks in Yashari and Ricci, but you've brought in that important piece of experience, which is what's helping you see out games. I feel like Rabiot had such a good performance. And the final player I want to speak about, you know what? Let's leave it for a little bit later. Let's look at the goal. Santi Jimenez, he finally scores. And you know what? It echoes every single thing that I said about my video yesterday about Santi Jimenez. Is he running out of time to impress Allegri? Surely the ball has to go into the back of the net one day. It went into the back of the net today. You could seriously make a case he could have got himself a hat-trick. Listen, as much as he's wasteful, I was looking at some of those opportunities that he was getting on to the end of today, and I was thinking, there's not many strikers that I could think of. Put them in this Milan setup, and they come off on the 45th, 60th minute, having had 4 or 5 shots on goal. He gambles every loose ball. He has the anticipation. He makes runs in behind. He makes himself available. And I was genuinely sat thinking this throughout the middle of the game. No striker is clinical. You're never ever going to find yourself a striker with a 100% conversion rate. But just imagine, Santi Jimenez, who's already missed 7 big opportunities, and I believe today he went on to miss 2 more. So that's 9 in total. Imagine if Milan had themselves a striker that only converts 50% of those. Santi Jimenez would be sitting on about 4 or 5 goals in just 4 or 5 games into the season. That's a goal a game. That's impressive. And I'm looking at it and thinking, you've now got the goal that gives you that confidence boost, because I feel like that's what he's really, really, really needed. And I feel like now he knows. He's looking to his left. He's seeing Nkunku start a game. I feel like he done really well. Winning that foul, getting a player sent off. I feel like it was great. Taking it on the half turn, getting clipped. He was a menace. He brought a level of technical ability in the final third, which Milan sometimes don't have when they go into it with, like, I don't know, Santi Jimenez up front. Feed Nkunku the ball. He can hold it. He can dribble. He can maneuver himself. Nkunku the goal, it was amazing. Back post from Salamakers. Like, there's so many players to praise, but Salamakers, for me, he's just been a staple. Every single game this season, he's dropping me 7.5 out of 10s. Week in, week out. Crossing to the back post. What is this? A bicycle kick? A half volley? It's a lovely, lovely, lovely finish. But touching on somebody like Santi Jimenez is now looking left. And Nkunku, first start, a goal and a very good performance. Seeing as we're touching briefly on Nkunku, 27 years old. He scored himself 1 goal. Didn't really get himself an assist. He had an 88% pass accuracy, 2 key passes, as in 2 key chances that he created in the final third. For his first start in Milan colours, I feel like he done really well. And I wouldn't be surprised if he had played the whole 90 minutes. He was probably going on to score another goal. But once again, Santi Jimenez, I think now he's looking at it and thinking, Pulisic comes off the bench. Pulisic, once again, like, I keep jumping from point to point, but Pulisic, 5 goals this season in the Serie A. 5 goals this season in all competitions, and he's only started 3 games. 5 goals, 1 or 2 assists. Game changer. The thing I love about Pulisic, I'm not going to sit down and tell you guys his ball striking and his dribbling in tight areas. The thing I love about Pulisic is the fact that bring him on for 10 minutes and he will make those 10 minutes feel like 90 minutes. He makes every minute count. He makes every second count. He makes every run in behind count, every shot on goal count, every pass count. The fact that he's coming off the bench, changing games within a matter of seconds, is a testament to how good of a player he is. And I promise you guys, I don't even think he's playing in 5th gear. I think he's in like 3rd gear. He's still feeling himself. He's still getting that match rhythm, that match sharpness. Like, you have to bear in mind, his preseason was disrupted because of injury. But my final point on Santi Jimenez is the fact that he's now looking left and right, and he's thinking, Leao is breathing down my neck. He's in training. He's ready. He looks to his left. He's got Pulisic. Coming off the bench, he scores. Starts games, he scores. He's looking to his right, Nkunku. First start, amazing impact, and also a goal. This is what I mean by healthy competition. And you know what it is? It's probably an amazing headache for somebody like Allegri to have. His team is dominating games in midfield, and there's competition in midfield. Once Yashari is back, Richie is knocking on the door. Fofana, I think he had a great game, but Fofana, you can see the level of his performances are going up. But in attack, you've got yourself dudes that are just scoring goals. Like, every coach would love to have himself 4 attackers. If he starts 2, he knows they're bagging. But if he brings the other 2 off the bench, he also knows they're bagging. And I'm telling you guys, healthy competition is what's going to raise Leao's game. It's what's going to raise Santi Jimenez's game. It's what's going to raise Pulisic's game and Nkunku's game. And at the end of the day, may the best man win. May the best man win. If in 6 months' time, everybody's watching Milan games and thinking, you know what, Santi Jimenez, he's undroppable. Pulisic, you might have to go to the bench. So be it. So be it. Even though I wouldn't bet my house on it, I truly wouldn't bet my house on it, I still look at it and think Nkunku, Leao, Pulisic, that's the 3-horse race for the 2 positions in attack. But I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Allegri, in one period of the season, sat in his office and he's thinking, got myself Jimenez, that's scoring goals. Got myself Pulisic, that's scoring goals. And Nkunku, Leao, scoring goals. Yet my formation only allows me to fill 2 of them. Why not in some games go with 3 of them? The more the better. The more the better. Literally, the more the better. So it's definitely a good headache for somebody like Allegri to have. But listen, it's a testament to the work that he's doing, because I mentioned it before the season even started. The feel-good factor at Milan. Everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to score. Everybody wants to put their body on the line. If you come off the bench, you come off the bench with a smile on your face. If you come off the pitch, you come off the pitch with a smile on your face. There's healthy competition. There's a healthy morale. Like the ecosystem in and around Milan, Allegri's camp, every player wants to be a part of it. And the game on the weekend is massive. Like if Allegri, Milan, every single one of these players want to send a statement to every fan, to every Serie A watcher, to Serie A teams, you go up against Antonio Conte's Napoli, unbeaten, and you put on a performance very similar to that. Because I'm telling you guys, the difference between the two is not as big as you think. If anything, you could seriously make a case. Milan's squad is more talented, but it's just a matter of who steps up in the big games. Milan so far this season, Bologna, I feel like they stepped up, and that was a big game. Udinese, fair enough, on paper, not equal part opposition, but I still feel like you look at the start that Udinese had, tough game, they stepped up. Now, this is probably the biggest game so far in the season. Napoli, can you step up? If they step up, I kid you guys not. That is the biggest statement to every team in this area, which is we're not here to play games. We're not here to just beat the small teams. Hell no. Give us the big boys, we will beat them. Give us the boys in the middle, we will beat them. Give us the boys in the bottom half, we will beat them. We're looking to compete. We're looking to reclaim the throne. So that game I'm really looking forward to. But at the moment, there's confidence, there's morale. The more you win, the happier the camp becomes. And I'm looking at Milan and I'm thinking, at the moment, you guys have got it all. Defenders stepping up, midfielders stepping up, attackers stepping up. Players are still to come back from injury. Listen, it's good signs. It's very, very, very good signs. And who would have thought, who genuinely would have thought after the 2-1 defeat to Cremonese that this would be the road that Milan were on? Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys on another one.